For centuries, humans have wrestled with deep philosophical questions. What is the meaning of life? Why do we yawn when we see someone else yawn? And the most important mystery of them all, which came first, the chicken or the egg? This question has bothered ancient Greek philosophers, modern scientists, and pretty much anyone who has ever had eggs for breakfast. At first, it sounds like a silly little riddle, but once you start thinking about it, your brain begins to do a backflip and lands flat on confusion. On one hand, the question seems simple. Eggs existed long before chickens. Dinosaurs laid eggs, reptiles laid eggs. Even creatures that looked like they were designed by tired video game developers laid eggs. So technically, eggs were around way before chickens strutted onto the evolutionary stage. But the real debate isn't about regular eggs, it's about chicken eggs. And that's where the mental chaos begins. Team Chicken. You can't have a chicken egg without a chicken. Let's start with the proud supporters of Team Chicken. Their argument sounds very scientific, because it actually is. There's a special protein involved in forming a proper chicken eggshell, known as OV17. Where is this protein found? Only inside chicken ovaries. Without it, a true chicken eggshell cannot form. So, Team Chicken argues, if you need a chicken to make a chicken egg, then obviously the chicken came first. Simple, right? Well, not really, because this depends entirely on what you choose to call a chicken egg. The universe apparently loves to complicate things. What even is a chicken egg? Here's where things get spicy. What defines a chicken egg? Like, is it an egg laid by a chicken? Or is it an egg containing a chicken? These two definitions may sound identical, but trust me, they're as different as tea and coffee, or as different as a chicken and, well, not a chicken. To understand the absurdity, imagine an elephant somehow lays an egg. Inside that egg, a lion hatches. What do you call that egg? A lion egg? An elephant egg? A very confused egg? This is exactly the kind of embarrassing mess we run into when we try to classify eggs and their owners. But the egg supporters, Team Egg, have a pretty strong evolutionary argument. Team Egg, evolution isn't neat, but it gets the job done. To understand why Team Egg stands tall and proud, we need to dive into evolution, the universe's messy, brilliant, slow-motion makeover system. Every time animals reproduce, they pass along their DNA, which acts like a personal instruction manual. But DNA copying is not perfect. Sometimes tiny mistakes sneak in. These small genetic errors, what are called mutations, don't turn creatures into superheroes, but over thousands or millions of generations, they slowly shape entirely new species. This brings us to the legendary proto-chicken, a bird that basically had a chicken subscription plan, but hadn't upgraded to the full version yet. It looked mostly like a chicken, behaved a lot like a chicken, probably made chicken-like noises, but genetically it wasn't the exact chicken we know today. Two of these proto-chickens mated and laid an egg. Inside that egg, a tiny mutation occurred. A small tweak in the DNA. And that tiny tweak created something entirely new in the world. The first true chicken. Which means the egg holding that chicken existed before the chicken itself. The egg wins this round fair and square. Team Egg celebrates. Team Chicken clucks in frustration. But evolution isn't done messing with us yet. No creature wakes up and says, "Hey, I'm a new species now." Humans love organizing things into neat categories. It makes us feel in control, even when nature is secretly laughing at us. So we label creatures: chicken, lizard, eagle, squirrel, whatever. But evolution does not care about our tidy little folders. It doesn't follow a checklist like proto-chicken, 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 bam, chicken. No animal pops out of an egg, suddenly so different that the rest of its species would gasp dramatically and whisper, "What in the world is that supposed to be?" Nature simply doesn't work with big cinematic moments. Evolution is slow, painfully slow. Think about the transformation of wolves into dogs. There wasn't a magical moment thousands of years ago when a wolf mother looked at her newborn pup and said, "Excuse me? Who dropped a Labrador into my den?" The shift happened gradually. Tiny behavioral changes, small genetic tweaks, slight differences in temperament, all stacking up generation after generation until one day humans realized, wow, this wolf acts suspiciously like it wants belly rubs. The same thing happened with chickens. No proto-chicken ever looked at its freshly hatched chick and complained, kids these days look strange. Instead, tiny mutations accumulated quietly inside eggs over thousands of years. And eventually, one of those eggs held a creature different enough to be classified, much later, as the first true chicken. The bird that laid it, however, wasn't technically a chicken at all. It was a proto-chicken who unknowingly became the very proud parent of an evolutionary upgrade, where the definition changes everything. And this is exactly where the whole argument becomes slippery. Everything depends on what you decide to call a chicken egg. If you define a chicken egg as an egg laid by a chicken, then the egg containing the very first chicken doesn't count. It wasn't laid by a chicken, it was laid by proto-chicken parents. In that version of the story, the chicken technically comes first because the egg isn't officially a chicken egg yet. But if you choose the other definition, that a chicken egg is simply an egg containing a chicken inside, then the egg immediately wins. The first true chicken existed as an embryo in that mutated egg, which means the egg came before the chicken ever stretched its wings for the first time. So yes, this entire ancient debate, which has tormented philosophers, scientists, farmers, and breakfast lovers for centuries, boils down to nothing more than vocabulary. The answer you choose depends on which definition you like more. And you can bet that somewhere in some science conference cafeteria, scientists have argued fiercely about this while eating their omelets and pretending not to see the irony. The two final scenarios. After dragging science, philosophy, and evolution into this messy debate, we are left with two possible storylines. In the first scenario, a proto-chicken lays an egg containing a mutation that creates the first chicken. That chicken grows up and produces the first official chicken egg. In this timeline, the chicken technically appears before chicken eggs become a thing. In the second scenario, the proto-chicken lays an egg that contains the first chicken. Because the egg contained a real chicken, some people claim it should count as a chicken egg. In that version, the egg comes first. Both are scientifically respectable explanations. Both are somewhat annoying, and both prove that we humans will argue about anything if we're bored enough. The egg came first, and that's final, mostly. After all the evolutionary twists and philosophical drama, scientists generally agree that the egg came first. Not because Team Chicken made terrible arguments, but because evolution always starts with the embryo, the egg, not the adult creature. That mutated egg had to exist before the chicken inside it could hatch. Even if the egg was laid by something that wasn't quite a chicken, the truth remains. The first real chicken ever to walk the earth started its life inside an egg. So in the grand cosmic argument of breakfast, the egg wins. But does this answer really matter? Probably not. Will people keep arguing about it anyway? Absolutely. Just remember, the next time you crack open an omelet, you are cracking open a topic that puzzled humanity for thousands of years. Try not to overthink it. Focus on your breakfast, and that wraps up one of the oldest debates humanity has ever scrambled its brain over. If you enjoyed this fun dive into science, evolution, and philosophical breakfast problems, make sure to smash that. Like and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay curious, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.